welcome to Job Hunt Live Wednesday. Honestly, I hope you guys are all having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. It's always, it's a great day for many reasons. We all know it's the middle of the week. That part's always nice. It's also the employment day that we do a lot of employment stuff around here. We all get to dress up very nice and feel sharp about ourselves and feel good. Even me, I feel better wearing the shirt. No, I honestly, you guys, when we dress up, we do. I don't know about you guys. I have a tendency to feel pretty good. So we just got
pretty, oh so pretty. There's no one as pretty as me.
Background music by Mr. Forrest. Thank you very much.
I just don't try to sound.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes the camera guys do stuff in here, guys. I don't know what they're doing, and then I hear noises. So just bear with me, okay? No. So today, there's a lot of things that go into finding work, right? We've talked about a lot of things, and there's a lot of things that we have to deal with in work situations, and we've discussed a lot of those things. But I think one thing that we don't do as much as we should. And I'm not saying some of you guys might be experts out there at this, okay? So if you are, awesome. Kudos. It goes your direction. But at the same time, one of the things I think we need to realize is, what is our checklist? What are some questions we need to ask ourselves when searching for a job? What is it that we want? There's a lot of different questions to ask ourselves. Do we want a job with upward mobility in it? I know that's something that's coming up a little bit more in program. I know Ray and I just had a discussion the other day about the topic and bringing that up. Is it, what do you have that you can bring to that job, your skills? Remember, I've talked to you guys a lot about just some of our own personal skills that we do just with our friends, our work skills that maybe we do with our chores around the house, helping others. These are all skills, that can be brought to a workplace, okay? And then there's a few others, and we will definitely go into it. Obviously, too, work-ons. We all have work-ons. I wish I have great time management when it comes to getting to places. Like seriously, man, I'll get there on time. You want me there on time, I'll be there on time. But on the flip side, I still have time management that I have to work on when it comes to sometimes getting my duties done when it comes to paperwork and things like that. So you can be good with time management, but then you can still have it as a work on in another area of your life as well. And so, you want to be able to see those things. It's very good to be able to be self-evaluate yourself. It's good to know when, for example, if your boss pulls you in and starts discussing something, it's actually not horrible for you to go, yeah, I know, I've been really trying, I'm working on that, and then asking for advice, okay? But yeah, these are 10 things that, so what we're going to do today is we're just going to go through 10 things that we want to ask ourselves when looking for a new job. What are some of the things that we need to know about ourselves going into this job? What's going to make us successful? And this is a lot of these questions that you're going to ask yourself, and I'm going to go through these here as we bring in guests and all that. One of the things you want to ask yourself is, because you want to put yourself in a place where you're going to have success, right? You want to get the experience you need. Maybe it's a job that you just want to gain experience in. So you want to be able to know that that's why you're going into it. And maybe it's a job that you really do like and you want to move forward with. You want to know that part about it. So let's get an idea of what these 10 questions are. But it's no fun me just sitting here reading the list. That's boring. Every one of us can Google search that and go on the internet machine and we can figure that out, right? But let's have some fun. Let's get some guests coming in. And I don't know who the guests are going to be just yet, because Ray's going to go grab people. Thank you, Ray.
Alex, do you know which group he's in by any chance? It's okay if you're not.
I don't know.
So we're going to get our first guest here coming up today, you guys. And our first guest is going to be cameraman singer, background music guy,
Sound effects.
sound effects,
Mic.
Motormouth Jones,
Yeah.
Blue mic. Oh yeah, he did take care of the mic.
Lighting.
Did the lighting today. So he's got some skill. So technically, you've got some skills.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
So Clayton, I'm just curious, without going through this list, are there questions that you've asked yourself going into a job, like, or going into a job search? Like, are there certain things that you've thought about, like, what can I bring to the job, or what do I need out of the job? I mean, probably a little bit of both, I'm assuming.
Yeah, sometimes, and I don't even know if there's like questions, but thoughts that enter my head.
Uh-huh.
It's like, am I qualified for the job?
Right? Yeah, that's
Yes.
a very scary one. I know.
Because it's like, it's like, say, starting here, my technology skills weren't that great. It's because it's one of my weaknesses.
Yeah.
It kind of made me nervous having to do computers and stuff and go into things. And it worried me because my old job, we never did.
Yeah, where we worked at before was
handwritten.
handwritten, no
Yeah.
computers.
Yeah.
We weren't even allowed to be on our phones.
So that's like kind of like the first thing that entered my head. It was like, am I actually qualified?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us come across that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Especially too, think about it if we have no experience. Remember when you and I were younger, there was a time we had no experience.
No experience. And
At
just
all.
Grew into it, yeah.
And and all of a sudden you have to go out there to that job field and you're like, okay, what can I do?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to trial and error it,
Yeah, it's a little bit of the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, fear of the unknown. And then on the flip side, though, what are some things that you, because I have a two-part question there, what are the things you were worried about with the doubt, the self-doubt? But what's one of the things that you look for, like as maybe you were searching in jobs? It doesn't always have to be finances. It can always be just.
Accommodating to where I live was one thing.
Very important, actually.
To make sure, like, in my mind, is like, okay, so if something happens to my car or something, how would I be able to get to work?
That's just very smart thinking, actually.
So I want to be within. I'm still pretty far from walking distance, but there were buses.
Exactly.
Or a bicycle, and it would double my time of driving here, but.
No, totally. And I happen to know where you're living. Yes, both of us happen to be in locations that we could still arrive at work. And it's really funny because it's something that we all should really think about when we do apply for work. Because just because you have a car doesn't mean it's going to work every day.
Yeah, I don't want to get a job up in, say Sonora, and have to drive that every day, put wear and tear on my car, gas.
That's another thing, yeah.
Everything, that kind of planning. And if I was going to be late something,
Yep.
then I would be driving home late after working.
You're going to be driving home. And that actually happens to be one, we'll get to it a little bit more, but that happens to be one of the things they say when applying for work out there. You should ask yourself, how am I going to get there? Am I willing to make this commute? Am I willing to, do I have the means to make the commute?
Because you can't be saying, oh, I don't have gas money and I can't go to work, sorry, Yeah.
Well, I'd have a lot of days off.
Yeah.
Gas money, I use it every day. No, I'm just kidding. No, okay, well, no, cool. Those are really good. Those are actually really two good points. Thank you, Mr. Cameraman, sound effects, music, broomstick, lighting,
makeup,
costumes,
catering,
and whatever else he makes up on the way out the door.
first aid, the doctor's on the set too.
Oh, sweet. Yep, we got a doctor.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, Clayton. So, my first guest, or second guest, I'm sorry, I don't count that guy. That was just a practice.
That was just a fill until
practice, no. We have our second guest up. Hey.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I feel like I'm ready.
You feel like you're ready for what?
I feel like I'm ready to get a job.
Are you really? Well, today's discussion is perfect for that then. So what we want to talk about today are things that, things that we want to ask ourselves when we're looking for a new job. So what's something that you're asking yourself?
Am I asking myself, the one thing I'm asking myself is, what can I bring to this job?
What skills do you offer? Now, do you have a job in mind?
As always, grocery bagging.
Okay, so you've been very consistent with that, Alex.
Uh-huh.
You've been very consistent with that. And so you're looking at like, do I have the skills? Can I bring what they need to the board? And honestly, if you have relevant skills, so soft skills are they're very important, okay? 67% of employers will hire strong soft skilled applicants over those who possess poor technical skills. So that means like a lot of your soft skills, a lot of your, I know you're on time, you are responsible and you make phone calls, you have a lot of these good skills here that would fall into what you have to offer. And and one of the ways we would do that and to write those skills out is you and we would get together and we would sit down and at the very top of your resume, after we do your name and address and all that fun little stuff, there's this thing we do. We do first on the resumes that we do here. It's skills. And we would go through a list of soft skills and you would let me know all these skills. And the other skills are skills that you would get trained on. So even though they might be scary at first, you would become more comfortable, like Clayton's example about the computer. The computer was not so friendly when he first heard about it, and then now I've seen the computer and him hug once in a while. But are there any skills that you feel like you would want to improve on?
Skills. Oh boy. I really don't know. I feel like I want to improve my volunteering skills.
Nice, and that's something you would do at program here. And you could definitely reach out to Clayton and them to do that. And that's actually very important because when we do go into a work field, we don't have all the skills to go in. We're not at our tip-top game. So there's things that we should always be improving on, whether we're working or whether we're not working. So we should always be improving on various things. So awesome, man. Great job. Great job, Alex. Thanks for being up here. Thanks for chit-chatting with me today. Spin the wheel. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what the wheel's all about. No. Thank you, Alex.
I feel like I'm ready to get a job.
I'm excited. I'm excited to help you.
Great. So you think we could talk about it?
We'll talk about it Friday at 11:30.
Deal.
I have an
Wait,
11.
This Friday?
This Friday. I have an 11 o'clock, and I don't have an 11:30. So you are my 11:30.
Deal.
All right. It's a deal, Alex. Sounds good. Sounds
Thank
good. I
you,
look
Zach.
forward to it. Thank you. So Alex brought up a good one here, you guys. Is what the self-confidence? What do I have to offer? And it is, it's easy to not have confidence in yourself sometimes going into a job. But off the flip side, though, if you have some amazing skills and whatnot, flaunt those skills. It's okay. This is an opportunity for you to, if you do have the skills for that job, talk them up, brag a little bit. So it looks like my next guest, come on up, sir. Hi, how are you today?
Pretty good.
Good to see you. Nice handshake, actually. Very nice. Nice firm handshake, sir. So you work.
Mm-hmm.
You are in the work field, so you're not technically looking at this moment. So you might be able to help me out. When you were looking for your job that you have, what were some of the things that you asked yourself? Like, did you ask yourself what you wanted to do for your career? Did you ask what skills you had to offer? Were there skills that you wanted to improve on? Was there an environment, a work environment that suited you best? Were you looking after a certain amount of money? And were you looking for a place that maybe promotes? I mean, there's all kinds of these questions. What were some things that maybe went through your head when you were first looking for your job?
Being a dishwasher.
Well, I know you wanted to be a dishwasher, but what were some of the things you were thinking? So, did you think in your head, like when you were thinking about this then, Chris, did you say, I like restaurants, I would like to work in a restaurant environment?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, okay. So you kind of went in with the whole, you knew what company environment would suit you best. You already kind of had your role picked out. You know, you answered a couple of these questions then already. So the first one is, what do I want, to do, or what I want from my career? You want to go into food, dishwashing, and there you go. And then you knew you had some skills to offer. I know that because you had some past experience, and so you brought those skills. If I had to ask you if there was any skills you wanted to improve on, would there be any that you would think of?
Slow down more on my job so I don't break things.
Slow down more, yeah. It's easy to get going fast sometimes in the restaurant, and unfortunately, yeah, stuff does break. I know, I hear you, but that's okay. It's good to be aware of that, though, and it's good to know that, and it's good. Now, are you doing things at work to help yourself accomplish that?
Yes.
Nice, very
I
nice.
slow down.
Nice, very nice. I think that's great.
Try not to break any dishes.
Hey,
Try not to.
I know, the dishes sometimes will break, but I do know when we are going fast, just having been a dishwasher when I was young myself, sometimes you get going fast, and there's just sometimes it happens. But if we slow down, we can at least limit the amount of stuff that we bust. So,
Yes.
all right. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming in, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So real quick, while I'm waiting for my next guest here, so some of the things is, what do you want from your career is something you would ask. What skills do you have to offer? What skills do you want to improve on? What kind of company environment suits you best? So that could be your work environment. What are you looking for in salary? I mean, I know a lot of beginning jobs, it's minimum wage, but, maybe...
Who wants to work for celery?
Yeah, minimum wage is celery, I believe, right now, isn't it?
Celery?
Yeah.
Celery and carrot sticks.
Celery.
No ranch.
Yeah, they're giving out, what's my desired celery? Yeah.
Something.
I don't want plain celery. I mean, you can pay me celery by the hour with peanut butter.
And cream cheese.
And cream cheese. And are the opportunities for promotion and career growth, are they important to you? So for some people, those, are not as important as others. Some of us go into jobs and we just kind of want to roll through our role and do our thing and go home. Some of us, we're real gung-ho. We want that opportunity to grow and move up. Do I have a location or a commute? Time limit in mind. We heard that earlier from Clayton. Where do I start looking? Where do you even begin? Sometimes that could be the biggest question to ask yourself. Where do you even start? And then, of course, how do I prepare for my interviews? And if you get an offer, what do you do next? So those are just some of the things to ask yourself if I don't get through all of these today. But my next guest, come on up. He currently works as an operation crew member.
Hey, I know that
with
guy.
the Nuts.
He was the guy following me around, sweeping up all my peanut shells.
Yes, that one time we were at the game eating peanuts, he just
He just
followed
followed me around the whole 2 hours.
for 2 hours. You had your own personal sweeper.
Yes, and I resent you for that for forever. That is way too much work.
Fair enough. I mean, if you want to hold all that resentment inside, that's for you to hold inside.
It's literally eating my inside.
So, I think one of the cool parts for you is, I'm sure you had some things when you went in, going into this job, what were some things that you were looking for when you first went into this job? Like, when you started thinking, I want to get myself back out there, I want to work, what's something that's good for me that will help me transition back into, employment and getting my feet wet and things like that? Because I know that was a big step for you.
Yeah. When I went through this whole situation with work and wanting to get out there, I kind of had to look back at what I wanted to do first.
So you just started, where do I go? What do I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then when you found out what you wanted to do and you've done it now, and you've already been offered pretty much the position for next season.
Oh yeah, my boss wants me back next year.
So one of the cool things is you've already done a lot to show. Are there some things that you look at next year? I mean, do you want to improve on some stuff? Do you want maybe your role to grow a little bit? Or are you comfortable with where you're at? I'm just kind of curious.
I'm looking, I am looking for hopefully I mean, I know I can only probably do so much more than likely, but I am looking for even just a possibility of even a little bit of growth because, I won't get into it too long, but I mean, this last weekend on Saturday, I had to help somebody do what my job is because they thought there was gonna be a bunch of people, so I had to help another worker that she doesn't normally do my work. So she got transferred in and she was doing mine.
Oh wow!
So Connor, my boss, gave me that opportunity to show that I can become I guess like a boss or a person in charge.
Kind of like, yeah. I mean, in a way. I mean,
Like a
without the
supervisor.
title and everything. But
Yeah, I don't
but
need
you
the
are
title.
being the trainer. You are in charge. I mean, Connor's probably going to ask her when she's standing on her head, "Why are you standing on your head?" And she's
Right.
going to go,
He actually
my
kinda-
boss trained me, Brendan, to stand on my head."
No, see the thing is though, he wanted me to even look out for her. He gave me that duty as well.
Oh wow! So you like that? Now, did you like that?
It was a little intimidating at first. I'm hoping I get more opportunities to grow that further, just because it was for only one day. I didn't really have that opportunity to get comfortable or show it more than just that one time.
Yeah.
So it did feel really intimidating. It really did, because I didn't feel like I was having big shoes to fill. It wasn't anything like that. It was making sure to myself that I wasn't being rude.
Okay, so not to cut you off, but I'm going to.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm sorry. Please
No,
do.
it's not that. I do have a question though. No, and I did that all because I wanted to make sure I got this question. So you just said that, growing would be something that you'd be interested.
Right.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen,
Well,
but
yeah.
let's say Connor comes up to you next season and says, Bryn, you did a really good job. I've got a couple people that I wanna put under you this year. How would you feel about that?
To be honest, I would feel intimidated. Going back to that intimidation, but it's after a while, I know I will be good enough for it. Knowing that, I would be good enough for it. It's me getting comfortable knowing, okay, what kind of tone do I use? How do I go about it in a nice way? Making sure that I'm not over apologizing for no reason. It's trying to find that balance on being, I guess, the boss, but also being nice enough, because I'm showing them that I'm still doing, their work, their type of work.
Awesome. All right, hey, we got a question.
Oh my gosh,
Wait.
you got a question?
I'm looking out in the audience. This is the
And
Phil
audience-
Donahue show. Phil Donahue, audience member.
Audience of one.
Audience
Me?
member right there. Yes, with the glasses.
$1.
yes.
Oh wait.
Oh wait, we're on the wrong
Wrong
show.
show.
Sorry.
Yeah, wrong
But,
show.
Okay, hypothetically, I got a question for you.
Okay.
And I hate hypothetical questions, by the way.
Okay. That's a shocker.
So Connor goes to use next season. It's the beginning of the season. Says, Brendan, I've got 2 trainees for you. I'd like you to meet Zach and Clayton. What would you do?
Oh my gosh. One, I don't know.
I've already got my operations badge, so I'm technically hired.
Well, no, yeah, actually you
I'll just
do,
make a
so
copy
I'm
for
surprised you
Clayton.
didn't take advantage of that. Not really.
Go ahead. I want to hear this
Surprised.
answer though. This is a good question.
I'm surprised.
How
So
would you do?
my answer though, generally would be, sincerely, would probably be, I will do it. I will make sure that I could try to go over in my head what I learned first when I first started, so I can teach them the right way. Teach them kind of what I did,
Okay. Yeah.
and how I did it, and then if I don't explain it very well, then I'll show them, just so that they have a visual cue of what I was doing.
Got it.
Because sometimes
I only know how to do things if someone shows me. I'm being serious.
No, right,
Honestly,
right.
most of the time. So
I can't
I'm a visual
explain-
learner, so you're onto something there.
I can't explain anything to save my life, so I'm right there. I gotta visually show and try to explain.
Uh-huh.
But if it's for women staff, trainees, then it would be a little bit more difficult because I can't take them into the men's restroom and show them.
Oh, I
the
see.
locker
So you can't
space.
show them,
So
and
it
then you
would
can't
be-
go into the women.
I would definitely have to try a little bit harder to explain.
Got it. Fair enough.
Yes. Yeah.
Fair enough. Good answer,
Yes.
sir. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks for coming up, Brandon. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's really cool that Brandon has in his, the opportunities there. The opportunities there. Like I said, it's not for everybody. Some of us very comfortable where we're at, and that's okay as well. Training Clayton and I would be a nightmare. I would not want to do that
So,
myself.
because I'm already picturing us having plunger wars.
We'd have plunger wars. I'd be eating peanuts and sweeping my own peanuts up half the night.
Where they go, boy, what are you doing? I'm cleaning up peanut shells.
Cleaning up my own peanuts. It'd just be a nightmare. Brendan, we'd definitely give him a run for his money, that's for sure. My next guest, and it looks like today's gonna be my last guest, Mr. Gary. Hey, how you doing, sir?
Good.
Good. Nice handshake, sir. Nice
Thank
handshake.
you.
You're welcome, Gary. Gary, I know you've at times been very interested in finding work. And I know one of the things that you do very well, actually, you do this very well. You're very realistic about your commute. And
Commute?
yeah, commute is where you would drive to your job or walk to your job or ride a bus. And what was one of the things that you always, when you were looking for work,
That it would be in the plaza, or at least near the plaza that's very close by where I live.
perfect. Man, thought about this regularly, trust me. I would try to say, oh, that job's not too much further that way. Nope, I got my commute. So Gary, very good understanding of what your commute time would have been and like how far would have been the ideal situation for you to go, which is very important,
Granted,
actually.
if I had a car, it would have a wider range. But I'm gonna get my license soon. But until then, but
So-
right now I'm.
So
also
you're
just-
also aware that obviously your commute range can change over, with a license. I think that's great. I think that's awesome. Yeah, it looks like you have something else you want to say.
Yeah, now I'm more focused on just going to college. And,
Well, yeah, I'm aware of that right now. That's why I just.
but
wanted
back
to
then
ask.
I was. All right, so is it time for me to spin?
No, I'm not spinning the wheel today.
That was from Monday.
That was for Monday. Have you been watching this at all today? We haven't spun the wheel once.
I was tempted to.
I
I wanted
tempted
to.
to watch it.
Well, Gary,
Okay.
I thank you for your time. I thank you for letting me use the example of your awareness of your commute time, and I think that's very important because sometimes, we might look at a job and it looks great and, it's in Tracy. Well, how are we going to get to Tracy from here? We're going to walk
One step at a time.
one step at a
I'm
time.
not the Flash. I can't do that.
Exactly, right? We're all not the Flash and we can't do that. Thanks, Gary. I appreciate you coming on in, man.
I'm not even Kid Flash.
I know. If we could at least be Kid Flash, we'd make it, maybe. So, guys, like I was saying, we had a few examples in here that came in, but really, these are very important questions. Ask yourself, do you have a location or a commute time in mind? Where do you start looking? Well, one thing that's cool about here, you can start looking by simply coming into my office and talking to me and bouncing things off your idea. So, we can start there, right? How do you prepare for your interview? Hey, I know today or yesterday, I believe I heard, I was in one of the trainings and they're getting ready to do mock interviews at one point. We do a lot of that here as well. So that's actually really cool. So we can help you take care of two things, right? We can also, and then of course, you want to look at what's your best environment to work in? Where do you want to work? What's going to suit you well? Are you sort of a behind the scenes person? Are you somebody who likes to be out there and in the middle of the crowd? Are you more of a front of front of the house person. He wants to be where all the people are at, you know? Some of us, hey, we like our little hidey holes in the back. And I tell you, dishwashing was one of my favorite jobs, guys. I always say this, and a lot of it was just because it was me and my music and hot water.
Some of us don't mind being the Quasimodo bell ringer.
Yeah, some of us don't mind being the Quasimodo bell ringer. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know what? It's a job that has to be done. You guys remember that too. That's the other thing, you know. Regardless of the job you're in, it's a job that's important because none of these places run without these jobs. So, guys, like I said, ask yourself some questions when you decide you want to start looking for a job. Whether it's, your first job or whether it's a new job, it doesn't matter. Look at them both the same way and ask some questions. And if you don't know what questions to ask, come see one of us. We might have a few answers, and we might be able to guide you in the right direction on some of the questions you want to ask yourself, you guys. So, good luck out there. Have fun. I've had a couple folks come up to me today and book some appointment times. I still haven't received any emails, so remember, you can still always email me, zweiss@vcdi.org. Always can ask any one of the instructors around here to help you out. You can come see me, and we can email me, and I can show you how to email me. I would love to do that, you guys. So have a great rest of your Wednesday, and don't be afraid to ask yourself some questions on what you want from work down the road. All right, you guys? Anything left, Clayton? Looked like you wanted to say one thing there. Sorry, it looked like you wanted to say something. Bye, guys.